Hi, guys. Welcome to the Mommy and Me podcast. My name's Elizabeth, and this is my middle child.
Samantha.
And basically, we started this podcast just for anyone out there who has a daughter or who is a mom or just is dealing with a lot of things. That's basically what our podcast is going to be about. We're going to talk about all kinds of topics: grieving, depression, anxiety, mom-daughter relationships. What else,
Yeah,
Samantha?
I think that's it.
Yeah, so we have a couple of different topics lined up for you guys. We'll kind of start from there, and then we're definitely gonna take the constructive criticism, comments, requests on
Yeah,
whatever it
for
is that you guys
sure.
want us to talk about. But this platform is basically to let you guys know that if you're going through a tough time in life or going through certain obstacles or overcame certain obstacles, you're not the only one out there. We've also gone through our fair share of these,
Yeah, for sure.
and just kind of using this for ourselves to kind of like a venting session. This is a venting session.
Like a little therapy
There
session.
you go.
Yeah.
So the very first topic for today, Samantha, do you want to get into it?
Um,
This is because I'm recording off my phone, so um, she has the notes. So the first topic for today is going to be generational differences. Um, Basically, what's changed from growing up in the '90s for me versus what it's like growing up for her in the early 2000s, late 2000s.
yeah, really very different.
Yeah, because when I had Samantha, I was, I believe, 21 years old.
21.
21 years old. Whew, long time ago. Versus when I had her. So obviously, what it was like growing up for me in the '90s versus her is completely different. And the one of the things we wanted to kind of talk about is what's changed growing up with phones versus growing up without a phone. So back in my day, we didn't have cell phones. I basically only had a pager, which kind of looks somewhat the size of our mics, which is crazy. That was the way we would communicate. Like if we wanted to reach out to someone and we wanted them to call us like ASAP, like you know how you text like call me right now or
Yeah.
can I call you? We couldn't do that. So it would be like codes, and I don't remember all the pager codes, but the main one was like 911 was call me. That was like call me, it's an emergency, which is crazy. And then you
That's
had to go run to a payphone
yeah,
and try to get a hold of the
that's
person.
so weird. Who texts 911?
I don't know. I don't know. Or like 411 when you wanted like I don't know. I don't really remember the codes. But what has it been like for you just having access to a cell phone?
It's so much easier. It's so easy to communicate.
How
I
how
can't imagine how like
how old were you when you got your first phone?
10.
10 years old?
Yeah, 10.
Oh yeah, I remember when we made you cry, huh?
Yeah. I mean, the next day I was like hooked on it. Like I couldn't get off of it because I had so many games on my phone. I was going crazy, and I was just like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, so growing up with having access to cell phone must much much easier for you now versus what it was like for me. Not having access to phone, which is kind of a blessing in disguise because I didn't have to also grow up with the social media access. So what kind of that's gonna lead us into the next thing is what is it like growing up with having access to social media and dealing with the pressures of social media? What has that done for you?
Social media has definitely affected my mental health. It's just a mean place
Affected your mental health? You don't have to give like specifics, but just like why?
because people are mean. Like you can just post on TikTok and people can like they can comment obviously and stuff, and they're just very rude.
Yeah, so dealing, I guess, with the social media pressures is one thing. Is like feeling like you need to live up to certain standards, or kind of deal with people's standards is one thing, I guess. That's something I had to deal with. And do you feel like it was like a lot of? Did you ever deal like with social media bullying?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like with people getting my phone number, that was like,
People having,
yeah,
and that's what's crazy because back in my day, um, we didn't deal with that. Like if
back
you
in my day.
when you dealt with, you just cut onto that.
Yeah.
um, Back then, you didn't have to deal with social media pressures. If you didn't like someone, you told them to their face. If you didn't like someone, you knew, but you only dealt with it at school. When you got home, all that drama stayed at school or like in the neighborhood. Like no one worried about it. You're just worried about having a like
Yeah.
good time or spending your time outside playing. We didn't have to deal with like anyone texting us or messaging us, anything like that. So how has that? How do you think that would have changed things for you, like not having access to social media?
Oh, things would be so much easier right now. I wouldn't have had to move schools so many times.
Um, dealing with the social media pressures and like social media bullying, do you wish? Let me backtrack 1 second. How old were you when you started having access to social media, and what app was it?
I think it was 11 and it was TikTok.
TikTok.
And then this year in February, no wait, March, I got Instagram. Yeah. So I haven't even had like a year with Instagram yet.
Do you think if you could go back, you would not want to have access to social media at that age, or would you change anything from that?
Mm, no.
No. Do you feel like you've learned things like or how to deal with
Yeah.
social media bullying?
Yeah.
If there's a girl out there right now dealing with social media bullying, or like maybe having some mental health issues, or dealing with mental health problems, not it's not some issues, because I mean, I guess mental health issues, we can normalize that. So yeah, it is. Um, what would you tell that girl?
Things get better. Like I said, well, I've told you this before. I hated when people told me like things are gonna get better because I was like things are just getting worse for me, and I was just like, yeah, no, like things are never gonna get better. It just continues to get worse. So like whenever someone told me that, I would just be so annoyed. Like, no, it's not gonna get better. Like, stop saying that to me. But it truly does get better. You just have to learn how to put yourself first.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing that's the hardest, is putting yourself first. I still tell Samantha this to this very day, and I tell my kids all this. The day that you stop worrying about what people think, it's the day that you're going to be liberated, because worrying about the opinion of others affects you in so many more ways than you can imagine, because you're constantly worried, like, are they mad at me? Are they upset at me? Or if I wear this, or isn't it, if I put too much
Yeah.
makeup on?
Even to
Like,
this day, I still like
still
still think that
building that
way.
up. Yeah.
Yeah. Because like I care too much about what people think, but I'm slowly starting to not care, which is a good thing.
That's an amazing thing, because I learned that just now getting older, and even at times, like, I definitely still care, like, what my siblings think, or like what my dad thinks, like certain opinion, what my children think. Those things matter to me. A lot of outside voices don't matter to me anymore, but it took me a very long time to get there. The way that I was raised was worry about what people think, your like persona, or the way that people perceive you or see you matters in all kinds of ways. You don't want people to believe that, or like, what if the vecina thinks this, what if my comadre finds out what's going on? Like, everything had to be like hush hush. How do you think that is now for you? Do you feel like it's different for you, or like me raising you? Do I raise you that same way? Like, with them, like, oh,
No, she raises to like not care about like what people think and stuff.
do you feel like if you were constantly me telling you, like, oh, don't do that because whatever people are gonna think, do you
Oh,
think
I
that would
would,
affect you more?
yeah, for sure. I would be so cautious of like what I had to do and stuff, and like, yeah, that would be so much pressure.
You hearing stories about how I grew up versus how you're growing up, what is like one of the key differences? You're like, thank God, I don't have to go through that.
Um, I would say that like the whole like having to care what people think. I mean, even then, I already do like sometimes like before, and like yeah, that's so much pressure.
Yeah, I think the pressure of what everybody else thinks matters a lot. So I think that's something you have to constantly remind yourself, is do whatever makes you happy. And for the girls who are struggling with social media bullying, talk to someone about it. Don't hold it all in, because that will eat you up alive.
Yeah, for sure.
When you're dealing with bullying, it's so hard to say, hey, mom, someone's bullying me, because like for Samantha, and I'm speaking out of experience of what we've gone through, is Samantha held back, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but Samantha held back from telling me because she was scared of how I was going to react, because like I'm very feisty, especially when it comes to my kids. Like, I don't
Yeah,
play,
I just
don't
want to
play.
I just want to see if I can handle things like all by myself first because once my mom comes in, there's like no stopping her no more.
Yeah,
So you
I
have to be
get
very
pretty upset.
careful.
Yeah, you can mess with me, you can do whatever you want with me. When it starts to affect my kids, like, I the levels go up like really fast, and there's like no bringing
Yeah.
her back down. Something I'm trying to learn is trying to allow them to figure things out on their own, but that just started like a couple of years ago. Like, tell me like 3 years ago, mom, this is going up, I'm pulling up to the school right now, I'm talking to the principal, to the teacher, vice president, to the district.
That was
I
you
don't care.
last year.
So no, I think
You came to
only
my
when I
school.
oh, but I think that's only because things are
Things got so out of
yeah,
control.
yeah,
Yeah.
things were progressively getting really bad, and at that point, it was your safety at play. So that, to me, is different versus dealing with someone who's just like harassing you, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
you're trying to figure that out. That's a little bit different. But with starts to threaten you, and that I take that very seriously. So I think that's why I stepped in the way I did. But for the most part, I'm trying. I'm learning, guys. I'm not perfect. I'm a mom. They're my, they're teaching me how to be a better mom. We're learning this. I had them at a very young age, so things are not perfect. Our relationship is not perfect, and that's another thing we want to just make it very clear that we started this because we want to build a relationship. We've built our relationship over this past, like, what, 2 years?
Yeah, like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, so we're close now, but I will get to the bottom in another video. Will explain how we've kind of worked on it.
Yeah.
But one thing I do want you to take back, I guess from today's, is that even though we grow up different, I was raised different. You're being raised differently. You can meet in the middle as long as you communicate with your
Yeah,
parents.
communication is key.
Yeah, because it's easier to be like, well, she's not gonna get me. She doesn't understand me. But you don't know. Try it out. Try it out, and don't expect it to work out like so perfect the first time. It's gonna take time. It's
Yeah.
taking us time to adjust to things. It's taking me time to adjust to things. But you have to put in the work to that relationship, I guess, right? If it's worth it, you have to put in work to it. You have to give it
Yeah.
a shot. You have to try. But
Yeah, because 2 years ago, I would have never expected us to be here right now.
yeah, 2
Like,
years
to-
ago, we were like, not just playing, but we were like bumping heads, essentially, is what I'm trying to
Even
say.
now we still do, but we'll get into that next time.
Yeah, we still
We'll-
bump heads. The girl was getting on my nerves like 2 days ago, huh?
Okay.
And then I was getting on her nerves. She's like, oh, here was my mom going bonkers again. That's just what it is, But that's essentially what this podcast is going to kind of be like. And then we apologize for the like technical things. We do have some bigger plans in our minds, but we really wanted to get this started. We're super
Yeah.
hyped about this, and we hope that you guys will, join us along this journey. And we're just really doing it. If anyone can take away something from our podcast or from any video that we post, and that's like we're doing our part, right?
Yeah.
That's really what we want. We just want to like
We
talk
just want to
about the
normalize,
unspoken.
yeah, things like mental health for sure.
Yeah, mental health is like our main thing we want to really get to, but we wanted to start like kind of like light,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Even though this is not like, it was kind of like, I don't know, it wasn't too deep, but
Yeah, it wasn't too deep.
yeah, but we're gonna get into like the deep ones, and then we're gonna get happy ones, and like
Yeah, the point where we can get to like funny stories and stuff.
yeah, I don't
We
get to
have
the
so
funny
much
stories. We have
things-
so many topics, so many ideas,
Yeah.
so many things that are gonna happen, but with time it'll happen for us there. But so excuse our technical difficulties, or the quality is not the best, but we're gonna get there. We
Yeah,
promise.
for sure.
Just stay tuned. Comment down below any topics you want us to discuss. We're gonna try to keep it raw, real, be super honest about our opinions or things. So yeah, comment down below, and things. Don't forget to give this video a like, share it, and please,
Yes, share
please.
as much as you can.
If you're following us on TikTok, click follow, and if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe.
Yes.
Anything else you want to say before we
Nope,
exit out?
that's it. But I just hope that you guys join us along this journey.
Yeah, and if you made it this far, the next topic is going to be how me and her dad met. We're going to
Oh,
talk about
yes.
dating, what it was like dating for me versus what it's like dating for her. And
see.
so we'll see how deep we get into it. But yeah, that's going to be the next topic for the next video. It's dating. How do you get your mom to understand you that you're ready to date and that you're, ready to go. But yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next. This is the Mommy and Me podcast.
See you soon.
Bye. Oh, don't forget to like it, you guys.